Open. Chicago with the lead. Court. Batista with the catch. Oh! LeBron James with no regard for human life. Hand down, man down.
Yeah, I can see how disrespectful he's being right there.
No, I went to Temecula and brought you some dirt.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Mama, there goes that man.
Welcome back to The Bounce. I am Kev. With me, as always, is James, and Keebler is back. Welcome back, brother. We're going to get started, and welcome back, actually, to all of you. It's a new year, so happy new year. Welcome back, everyone. You new Twitter viewers, we can see you now, so feel free to fire away in the chat on any of the platforms that we are watching, and we would love to interact with you on NBA Thursday here on The Bounce. So as I was about to say, Keebler, welcome back. We're going to start with you. Big day for you for a lot of reasons, but I know you've got some gambling action in the mix. So first of all, happy New Year, brother. But how you doing? What you looking at? What you watching tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm coming off a $5 to win $600 parlay, so I'm riding a nice little high from that.
Ooh, what up, go?
Tonight I got something lined up. It's like $10 to win like $380. And it's Nuggets on the money line against the Warriors. Jamal Murray to drop 20. Curry to drop 25, Jokic to have a triple-double, Brandon Podziemski to have 8 points, Kuminga to have 10, Clay to not score 17, Michael Porter Jr. to have 12, Chris Paul to have over 5.5 assists, and Curry to get a steal.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on that. I think you just cashed. What was the one that you cashed on, by the way? You're feeling pretty hot right now, right?
Yeah, it was between football. It was on Sunday. It was between basketball and football. It was Hawks money line, Pelicans money line, Thunder money line, Suns money line, Colts, Texans, Bears, Jags, Ravens, Broncos, Packers.
God damn.
Yeah, nice little parlay.
Lord.
Yeah, eat your heart out, Nate. Where are you at, Nate?
It was a live bet, so it was like a little. The odds weren't as good as they would have been if they were before the game, so I could have made more if I placed that before. But I'm not complaining about $600. So
nah,
hard to do that, man. Well, congratulations on that, and congratulations on some fan news, which will be our main course. Of course, I didn't mean to say that back to back, but we have the Knicks stop with us, so we will have to talk about the Knicks' newest player and break down that New York-Toronto trade. So we'll get into that. But before we get into that and get into any of our appetizers, James, long time no see, brother. I haven't seen you since Wednesday night on our sister station.
About 20 hours ago.
Ooh, yeah, how you,
long
brother?
Time no see. I am good. Kev, what are your thoughts here, bud? The Pistons won a game, so it probably means they're better than the Pacers now.
Finally.
Hey. Finally. Hey, Cade Cunningham was right? He said they are not as bad as their record says.
You're as good or bad as your record says.
Yeah,
Enough.
that's kind of usually how I go with it. But no,
Enough.
man, did you see how they almost won last night? They lost in overtime by 6 points, but did you see that? Was it Burke? Alec Burke that hit the buzzer beater, the running floater. That
after
was
Markkanen hit the three.
Knicks
Alec
Burks.
Yeah, right. The legend. No, we are as bad as our record says. Yeah, I would agree with that. Oh, I'm pumped. I got a Pacers hat for Christmas. You can see it right there in the background. It's in the background because it's a fitted hat, and it is like a perfectly fitted hat. So if I wear it about 30 seconds in, I get a headache and a bright red line. It's like an old baseball mitt. I got to break her in, but for now, she's sitting back there, loving that 4-1 record against the Bucks, which actually I will pull that up here in just a second. Giannis had some interesting thoughts on that, but before I do, this one right here is for you, James. Anthony Black. It's just a shout out.
Oh yeah,
your boys, the Magic here.
Yeah,
look at that defense against some of the league's best.
Look at that jersey.
Players.
My God, is that beautiful?
Mhm. Yeah, that ain't too bad either. But I
Yeah.
just wanted to give you that opportunity. You know, you've
But-
been singing these praises of the Magic early
Long time.
on.
However, my boy's still out. He is been questionable and still not playing.
Markel Fultz.
Yep, still out. Tough one here for Nate. Go Hoosiers. They took a big L to the old Huskers last night. Got their ass kicked.
That is a bummer. Hang on. I am editing something here real quick. We're going to get this fixed. There we go. Now I move.
So now we can pop.
So now when I pop those up, it won't cover Keebler's
we don't lose
face.
Keebler. We don't lose
there
him.
we go.
Let's
so
go.
We don't
forgive me for that
Kev,
one. But okay. Oh, go ahead.
While you got, there you go. Oh God, you are going to bring this up.
You have to at some point.
Oh, so since we were talking about the Bucks, Pacers, and Giannis said we realize teams can beat us 4 times in a season. You think about it. When you go back home, sleep and wake up, you think about it. When you go back and work out, you think about it. When you're about to get freaky at night, you think about it. So, guys,
God.
I was shocked. I heard some things from the likes of Stephen A. Smith this week. People, in my humble opinion, as a Pacers fan, I think people are overreacting to this, saying some things about the Bucks, about the coach needing to be fired and all this, that, and the other. I think the Pacers, particularly with their small ball lineup, just happened to be a very bad matchup for the Bucks. But what do you guys think about this? Obviously, I think Giannis is having a little fun. I don't know that he's really thinking about this during his freaky time at night. But James, we'll start with you. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh my God, it's an all-time banger of a quote. Like, it's so fucking funny. He ain't worried about it. He's not going to sleep at night when he's getting freaky thinking about it. It is a funny ass quote, but I give you credit. Kev, 4-1's a big deal. It's a big deal, including the old in-season tournament win. At least you guys have got it figured back out. The Lakers have gone completely sideways.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Lakers at some point tonight, and I hate them right now. You know, you just, if you were going to lay down and die, you couldn't have just done it in the in-season final. You couldn't have started there.
Give you guys a banner so you could have had a banner.
Give a team that actually could, and a fan base that would use that would enjoy that.
Some form of accomplishment.
Yeah. Let's add another Lakers banner to the Lakers rafter. I hate it. Keebler, what are your thoughts on Giannis losing his sleep at night thinking about Tyrese Halliburton?
I think it could have been worded a little differently, but other than that, I mean, it's just crazy to see that the Pacers are the Bucks' kryptonite for some reason. The Bucks have 8 losses, and most of them are to the Pacers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
8 or 9 losses, something like that. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm happy for the Pacers. I love Halliburton. Happy to see him freaking balling out. But overall, I don't know. Interesting quote, to say the least.
I love it. So, James, you were about to ask me something before I pulled that one up.
I was
for us?
I was going to pull up just so we can talk about this before we get too deep into things.
Ooh. Bum, bum, bum. I know what this is, but I haven't seen it yet.
So I got 2 different ones here. So this was earlier in the game. This is tonight's game. This is just, don't worry about Victor here.
Trying to poke it away.
Ooh.
And look at them guard one another.
Alley-oop to himself.
Oh, wow. Okay. Shout out to Reggie Miller, my idol, on the call.
And then there's another one. Shout out Worldwide Wad. Big Knicks guy.
Yeah, right?
Huge Knicks guy.
The second biggest Knicks fan I know.
Exactly. And then this one happened just a little bit ago. Come on, internet. There you go.
It's taking me a lot right now to not live bet the Bucks.
That's where my internet's not being great here, but he just casually goes.
Get it one more time. Wow.
Behind the back here. Whoop! And
wow, and one with the finish. Ooh.
Yep.
Starting
to kind of look like it, huh?
Yeah, he's coming along, and it's interesting. I'm going to just add, I decided not to grab the graphic for this, but we've talked about it a couple times. Jaime Jaquez Jr. is having
My
still
guy,
having a great rookie season,
Pablo
and
Escobar.
Kevin Love. Oh, I love that. That's the first time I've heard that one.
I found that on the internet. Yeah, it's a
Kevin
wild
Love
play.
said that for his money, now he's his teammate, so he's politicking probably here, but he says for his money that Jaime has been right up there with Chet, that he's been more consistent. And he called out Wemby specifically and said that Wemby hasn't been as consistent. He kind of comes and goes with his production. But then you have those big highlight moments like that. So since we're here and I had Jaquez on the docket, let's kind of just update on our rookie of the year status right now. Anything change for you guys? Keebler, does that highlight do anything for you? Is it still Chet's to lose?
I am riding with my pick from preseason. I'm going with Chet. He's just, I get your team has like a small factor in it, given the very vast difference between a 2 seed in the West and a probably, I haven't looked at the standings, but probably like a 13 seed in the West.
It's not great.
Yeah, so I get it. Like Chet's team is better, but Chet's also been much more efficient. He's been equally, if not better, on defense, I would say, and just contributing to his team winning more than they would be, obviously, if he wasn't there. So I'm still riding with Chet. I think in any other year where you don't have 2 generational prospects going at each other, Jaquez Jr. wins Rookie of the Year. But unfortunately, he's going against Wemby and Chet. So just for media reasons, I think one of those 2 win it. But I'm sticking with Chet on my pick.
What about you, James?
See, Keebler's got it. He took a hiatus and he's back and he's spot on. Chet's ahead. I think the record absolutely matters in him being a huge part of it. And you mentioned something, Keebler. He's just as good defensively as Wemby's been. I think Wemby's kind of been up and down. Long term, I'd still want Wemby, but Chet's the guy this year. I think our Lord and Savior, Mr. Jaquez Jr., I think he's in third. Like he's up there now. I don't think he could win it, but he's gonna be a first team all rookie type guy. You see his turnaround Jay against LeBron last night?
Yeah, that was insane.
Backed him down and said, "Enjoy this."
Man, that Lakers team, how much could they use him right now? The
yeah.
homegrown, too.
How many teams could use him? And just look who it is. It's that damn feisty Miami Heat team that found another guy later. Found Pablo Escobar down there.
Now, guys, don't count out Scoot Henderson, my preseason favorite, who even I had to take a chuckle at when I saw
he's
on Twitter
actually
he was staking his claim still, you know.
His last 6, I think, is his last 5 or 6. Let me pull it up.
He's trending up, okay?
He is trending up, which he was terrible. So it's pretty tough to not.
He's been averaging what, like 17?
It's 17 or 18 in the last couple of games. I want to pull it up.
Yeah.
Scoot. He's only.
I think there was
telling me there's a chance.
I think there was 6 assists to go along with that.
It's been really good. His last, let's go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He had a dud last night, but it was 7.7 assists last night. Game before 17 and 6. Game before that 22 and 11. Game before that 25 and 4. Game before that 17 and 11. Game before that 12 and 2. So he is absolutely figuring it out slowly. Still shooting absolutely abysmal from 3, but he's starting to finally look like the top 3 pick.
That is good. Ooh, what do we have here from your GOAT? Shout out, by the way. Thanks for joining the Discord and everything. It's been great having you there, GOAT. Chet versus Wemby, Rookie of the Year race reminds me of Bron versus Melo in 03. LeBron was the bigger name and won, even though Melo was better. I would agree with that. Same thing applies this year. Wemby will win because he's the bigger name, but I want Chet to win. I can't put any holes into that logic. I agree with that take about LeBron and Melo as well.
Yep.
I agree with it. But I feel like given how different the seating's going to be, I feel like they have to give it to Chet.
The Thunder could be the one possibly.
That's what I'm saying. Like right now, they're like the 2 or the 3. I think.
Difference there is that they'll be an odds top 3 pick, and the Thunder are going to be playing for a title.
Yeah. So
that's.
But
yeah, you bring up a good point there, because if that's the way it goes, it will be really hard. Just because, like those of us who were watching last year, maybe it's not as big of a jump to people who knew the Thunder were really good last year. We all thought they were ahead of schedule, but even to the more casual, like the Shaqs, the guys who make millions of dollars to only watch the games that are on prime time and only know about maybe 5 or 6 teams. Now those guys will even know about Chet and the Thunder and how good they are. And shout out to Only Mistakes. Happy New Year. Loving the eggs in the chat. He says, LeBron 03 was one of the last seeded teams in the East. Melo went to the playoffs. Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah. So watch the Spurs sneak into the play-in on some late season run. And
they are currently 11 games out from the play-in. So
I guess they wouldn't be sneaking; they'd be sprinting.
They can compete with the Los Angeles Lakers, right?
Oh my goodness! Yeah. Speaking of, you know what? Let's just do it, because we were talking about the Heat. Now we can talk about the lackluster Lakers, who were beat by the Heat. And I want to mention this:
I read it today.
Faced the 19th different lineup that the Miami Heat trotted out this year. I want you to keep that in your mind. More of a chance Killian Hayes gets MVP than Spurs getting into the play-in. Yeah. You caught me.
Killian Hayes catches a lot of strays in this show.
Poor Killian, dude. Poor guy. So I say that about the Heat and their 19 different lineups because, as Shams reports here, there's currently a disconnect between Darvin Ham and the Lakers locker room. And I don't know if you guys heard this, but Darvin Ham's defense the last time I heard him speaking to the press was essentially, we're never going to get into a rhythm until we get healthy. And he has thrown his hands up and said, we're too injured to be good.
That wasn't my quote. I heard the one I thought you were going to say was the one where he says them missing their rotation players is worse than the Heat missing Jimmy Butler.
Oh, that was another. Oh, thank you for adding that one.
And then
we're getting all the hits.
Austin Reeves combated that, and he was like, "We're good enough to win. Like, it's not an excuse."
Yeah, it's so bad. They played the Heat The Heat had played 8 guys last night. Yeah. All 8 had 10 points. Nikola Jovic had played a whopping 3 minutes in one game this year and had 15 and 8 last night, I think.
It's time.
I don't want to hear it, man. There's excuses. I don't know if you read that Athletic article, man. It's not good. There could be a change on the horizon for the old Lakers.
I think 100%. And without even reading the article yet, Keebler talked about how Reeves discredited this. Anthony Davis discredited it as well, saying it wasn't about the different lineups, that they knew what they needed to do and guys knew what they needed to produce or what was expected of them when they were out on the court. Keebler, what do you think? Do you think there's going to be a coaching change on the horizon? Do you agree with Darvin's excuse here about the injuries?
I mean, Vogel got scapegoated. I feel like Darvin Ham's going to be next. It's not necessarily about the coach, but when a team needs to try to figure out, let's say a PR move to seem like they're going to try to put themselves in a better position, it usually falls on the coach. So for his sake, I mean, I hope not. He's a good coach. But at the same time, if the Lakers want to move in a good direction, I feel like there are better options out there. And I feel like if he went to a new team, got a change of scenery, change of a roster, that'd be fine. About the rotational players thing, I mean, I see where he's coming from by saying that, but when you have a superstar in Jimmy Butler out for a game, you kind of have to win it. And they just failed to live up to expectations. But that's what Austin Reeves said. He's like, there is no excuse.
The players are saying the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like because the commentary between the coach and the players are so different, that might move the Lakers to try to move him out. But
that's perfectly fair. They are in complete disagreement. And what I would say, not only was Jimmy Butler out, but Austin Reeves had 24 points last night. The Lakers need to win the vast majority of games where Austin Reeves goes
Yeah,
off.
when
He's
he's
averaging
doing that.
15 points a game. When he scores 24, you need to win those games. LeBron, of course, only had 12. He struggled mightily, but I do want to also bring up something that the media has brought up at this point. The players aren't talking about it, but the very lineup that the Lakers used to make their playoff run last year has not been used once. While Darvin Ham, yes, he's made some changes due to injury. Some of those lineups, he's just been trying to find something. And now a lot of people are saying, why aren't you trying D'Angelo, Vanderbilt, Reeves, Braun, and Davis? Why aren't you trying that lineup that you had so much success with
Seems
last
like
year?
not rocket science. But
As a
currently,
Knicks fan, when you're playing Cam Reddish as a starter, that's where you instantly go wrong.
yeah,
Like, for lack of a better word, Cam Reddish is dog shit.
you're
Like, he's been
Reeves
benched.
and
He's been
Russell
benched
are
on every team that he's been on, including a Trailblazers team that was rebuilding last year with Dame out.
yeah, but now he's starting for a team that
And now
had
he's
title
starting
aspirations.
for a championship contender. Like, that's your first move because you want size and defense.
Yeah, the fact that Russell and Reeves have been pushed to the bench or coming off the bench makes no it's so stupid. It's not rocket science. We got a good one here while Keeber's face is gone for you, Kev.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm late to the show, but have you talked about how Giannis calls Tyrese daddy now? Yes, Nate, we absolutely have.
Yeah, of course. I wasn't going to let the boys get off with
We
that.
opened with it.
Yeah, he can't sleep at night. He thinks about Tyrese when he's with his lady, so it's rough
whenever
out
he's
there.
gonna lay down the law.
Oh, so the Lakers. Now, before we move on from the Lakers, Lakers Twitter is my favorite corner of Twitter in the sports world. I've already seen the photo edits that have LeBron talking to Doc Rivers on the sideline, and I just got to say, Lakers fans, stop it. Stop it. That would not do you any good. That would not be, in my opinion, that would not be much help to you. And I say that just to ask you guys before we move on. Any candidates? Anybody have a name in mind for someone who could come into this situation should Darvin Ham get fired?
For their sake, I really hope it's not David Fizdale. I've seen what he's done with the Knicks, and that's terrible. So if you want a coach to not get,
Take that for data. No,
I would say David Fizdale, because there's one picture of him when we were down like 30 to the Bucks when he was coaching, and he's just smiling.
You're over there slamming your head into the wall.
Yeah. I mean, Doc Rivers would be a good option, but I don't really see him leaving the media given his role there now. I don't know. I mean, are we going to see Monty Williams get fired potentially?
I was like, I thought of that.
I don't know if that
he's
would do it.
If I remember right,
he's on the biggest contract ever.
Yeah, and it's got to be a lot of it guaranteed. Like I think they're stuck with that nightmare.
Would there be a bigger fleece job of all time for that guy, for the Suns to kind of underperform the way that they overperformed and then they started to underperform? He loses the locker room. He goes to Detroit with this massive contract on a team with a bunch of young talent that at least one of the bald heads here thought this would actually be a pretty decent young team. He shits the bed here and then somehow stumbles into the Lakers job. Like, that would be nuts to me. But yeah, I don't know. They might be in that position. See, I have lost faith in Doc Rivers personally. As far as the Lakers get Doc Rivers, sure, they'll go to the playoffs probably. But then what? When it comes time, I think Doc Rivers' inability to adapt and make the right changes in playoff series or from a game-to-game, quarter-to-quarter basis is why the big one eludes him so often. He's had some of the best rosters any coach has ever had. And what does he really have to show for it? So I'm not a big fan of Doc Rivers for the job, but then again, I don't have any candidates either. Doc Rivers sucks. Goats with me.
Yeah, I haven't thought about it a lot, but I don't know. I don't have an immediate guy just like off the top of my head. I'm like, yep, that's it.
Perfectly fair. Well, what we talked about Nikola Jovic in the Heat Lakers game, somebody who's been in the G League, and last week we talked about or the last time we were all together, we talked about how the Timberwolves were running roughshod through the West, and I caught a little tweet from No Ceilings, and I will admit my own bias. I've been a Leonard Miller stan since before the draft, been keeping my eye on this young man, but former San Antonio Spurs draft pick, mind you. Leonard Miller had 35 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists on 14 of 20 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3, and he hit both his free throws. Now, here is a tall, lanky guy who is a decent ball handler who can, as we see here, shoot from deep. I am just throwing this out here as a watch for everybody to keep our eye on, as somebody who could come and add some valuable minutes to that young Timberwolves rotation here some point soon. You guys, I'll start with you, Keebler. Any thoughts on Leonard Miller or the Timberwolves in general while we're talking about them?
I feel like if you can get some minutes away from Mike Grandpa Conley, that would benefit you.
Benefit his legs.
Yeah. True. For the playoffs too.
Get your pace of the game up when you have Anthony Edwards, who's one of like the faster players in the game. I mean, you got the Twin Towers slowing you down and Gobert and Cat. But if you can push the pace just a little more, I feel like that would help, especially if you can get like Anthony Edwards some lobs, maybe him some lobs. I feel like that'd be pretty good. I'm not very familiar with his game, but if he's in the G League dropping like 35, then maybe it's worth a shot. They're right now the 1 seed in the West, so maybe try having him come off the bench, see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. I think he could be a good alternative, as you mentioned, for maybe a small ball lineup, because he's a tall player, but he's more of a skilled player. He would be probably more fitting in a fast break, so he could be somebody they could turn to when they need to go small ball. James, what do you think?
It's the transition from the G League to the number 1 seed. Like, that's such a big jump. Like, you hope by the playoffs maybe you can get a guy that can play some spot minutes, but to expect much out of a guy like that who's just not there yet. Like, you'd love to see this. Keep doing it, man. Keep blowing up the G League. But for him to be ready this year, I think you're right. He'd be a fast break threat, transition guy, a spot minutes, a few minutes here and there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. I mean, he's 6'10", 210 pounds. So he's 6'10" and weighs 15 pounds less than me.
Yeah,
he ain't guarding any bigs. Like,
nope. It's definitely still small ball despite his height.
Yeah,
not known as a rim defender either.
I'm about 8 inches shorter than him, and we weigh the same.
Yeah, so he's gonna get beat up down there. But keep props, perks of the G League, man. You can get him a lot of playing time right now.
Oh yeah, and a nice young roster, so they have the potential to add to it. You know, it might be next year before they see any of this on their big league team. But I just think also that the Spurs fumbled the bag here. I don't know. I would love to know the situation as to why this guy that they drafted
I don't know the story there.
Wouldn't have fit in their G League program. So right now the rich get richer with the Timberwolves landing this guy. So did we have a comment? Somebody have a question for us before I move on?
Goat says they should do the same thing with Grady Dick. Just play him in the G League the rest of the season. Get him playing time. It's the best way to do it.
I'm all for that too, especially we don't think their fire sale is over. So maybe there's a chance that he can come and play some meaningful minutes on the big league squad by the end of the year. But if the minutes aren't there now,
talking about
I'm
a team
big
that's
fan
not
of
going
that.
to win, so you could get they're not going to win, so there's could be playing time there, especially if Siakam gets traded to the Indiana Pacers.
Oh, maybe those Heat too. I hear the Heat are kicking the tires.
Ugh, we don't need them.
That would be the ugliest good team ever.
Yeah, it'd be so grimy.
Bam, Jimmy, and
muddy up everything. Just
win a playoff game 87-78 or something. Absolutely gross. Boy Scout Las Vegas for Iowa. There we go. Hey, Iowa hoops team. All right. I wouldn't hate it. I don't know if the NBA would hate it. Oh, well,
they would hate it. There's no people in Iowa. There would be no fans there ever.
Go fire away with your hot take. I'm going to go through a couple more of our quick hitters here. This will be the quickest one, so I'll do this. From Woj, Ricky Rubio is about to be done after stepping away from the franchise to address his mental health. Guard Ricky Rubio and the Cavs have agreed on a contract buyout. If Rubio plays professionally again, it will likely be in his native Spain. So shout out to Ricky Rubio, tip of the cap for a career. I personally, it'd be a bit of a what if for me with all of the injuries. He was one of my favorite 2K players of all time.
He was
James,
so hyped coming out of coming when he was coming overseas, man. And then the Timberwolves did what Timberwolves do, and they drafted him and
Johnny Flynn
in the same draft, like 3 picks apart. He was so hyped. He was on a couple good teams, but he never lived up to the hype.
He got picked a pick before the Knicks could get him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what might have been. So unfortunately, not quite the career we were hoping for when he did get drafted, but solid career nonetheless. Mm-hmm. He'll be somebody 10, 20 years from now, those old heads will be like, oh yeah, man, Ricky Rubio was a solid, you're talking about quality backup point guards to have on a team or something. He'll be in a lot of bar conversations here in a few years.
We had that conversation about our all 2K teams. He was always my point guard. Couldn't shoot at all, but he was the guy.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, get you 20 assists per night though, tell you that. Ricky come over to the Euro League.
Sounds like that's what he might end up doing.
And there's a ton of, while we're here talking about Euro Leagues, Dwight Howard and DeMarcus Cousins over the break, I believe both went to Taiwan. Either that. So I know DeMarcus Cousins signed with the team in Taiwan. Dwight Howard either finished up I believe he finished in the Philippines and now is going to Taiwan. Otherwise, it wouldn't make sense if one's going. But anyway, so we got a couple of big men. Props to Dwight Howard. We tease him a lot on this show, but hey, the guy is doing everything he can to be in basketball shape should a team decide to call him. I don't think they're calling, but props to him for globe-trotting
to the Joker.
Right, yes, unless they need somebody to hold Joker to 2014 and 8. Yeah, then they've got him. So wait, did our hot take come?
We got the hot take. I want to get Keebler's thoughts on this. The GOAT says, I personally think IQ will be 2 times better than any player in the Knicks Raptors trade. Keebler.
It's basically an IQ versus OG debate in that case.
Well, what about RJ? Come on now.
No. He's gone. Please.
I saw an RJ stat, like he's having his best. It's I think it was effective field goal percentage a year, and out of the qualifying people, he's still like 52nd of 57 out of the league or something wild like that.
Yeah,
it's
unbelievable. But I'm happy he's gone. I'll say that. I'll preface with that. But losing Emmanuel quickly hurts. But the Spurs or some team was gonna end up offering him like $30 million a year that we wouldn't have matched.
You wouldn't be able to afford him, right?
We could have afforded it, but we wouldn't match it because he wants like Brunson money, and he's not worth Brunson money. And Brunson's getting paid like $26 million a year, and he wants like 26 to 30. I like it for him in the fact that he has to be a starter now. With Brunson being the point guard, he would have never had the opportunity to start, and we're not going to pay him, let's say, $25 million to come off the bench. So I like it for him. I don't think that he's going to end up being a better player than OG just because of the effect that OG brings on offense, or the efficiency he brings on offense while also being a top 5 defender in the league.
You guys need defense so bad.
Exactly. So I feel like OG and Precious, their help defense is going to help out a lot for Randall in what he lacks. Please, Giannis, don't shoot that. I'm sorry. Okay. He just drained it. All right. But yeah, I think that OG will still be better than IQ, but I really like the opportunity that IQ is going to get being the starter for the Raptors.
Yep.
IQ, I've been saying already, is better than RJ. So that's just my take on that.
And there's the details on the trade again, since we're here talking about it.
We we were gonna lose him anyway, so I'm not.
I think you have to factor that in, right? Because you
Yep.
were going to lose him.
Right. And OG's
Yeah.
a free agent, but he said that he'll take a pay cut to play for the Knicks on a Knicks.
Yeah,
side.
that's actually a great segue. I wanted to talk about that for a minute because I have some notes on that. OG,
I just saw it. Yeah, I was like, hey, that's nice. Freaking
His-
sweatshirt.
his agency, and I can't remember what is it, CAA agency?
CAA, the one that,
CAA, it's formerly Leon Rose's agency, the one that he worked for, right? So
what's really cool is that Leon Rose's son is OG and Brunson's agent.
oh, okay, even bigger of a lock. So that once I heard that, I was like, oh, well, it's a lock that he's going to re-sign, and it sounds from what I've heard, it sounds like part of his decision with that agency choice that this was always potentially in play, that he was going to be re-signing with the Knicks. So I think because of that, that makes the trade feel a little bit better. Now I have a follow-up question for you, Keebler, because my takeaway when this happened, I thought this is a little rich for my blood. Immediately seeing the fact that Emmanuel's not going to re-sign, it's like, okay, well, it makes a little bit more sense now. But my first thought when I saw this was, okay, the Knicks aren't done making moves because what you lost with bench scoring from IQ, not that you'll replace it with the same type of player, but my thoughts were, okay, there's got to be another move that the Knicks are looking to make after this one. And what are your thoughts there? Am I wrong? Do you think they're going to do more before the trade deadline?
So I'm ruling out Donovan Mitchell for now, just based on like the situation. But one realistic guy that I think that we can get for a pretty cheap price is going to be Malcolm Brogdon. I would love to see him off the bench. That would bring a lot playmaking wise. I mean, he just beat out quickly for Sixth Man of the Year last year. So I feel like if we can get a player like that, maybe for like a first round pick, and maybe like Fournier or something to match salary, I feel like that'd be awesome. I love Cam Johnson on the Nets. But we need scoring off the bench and playmaking, and I feel like Malcolm Brogdon would be that perfect piece. I've been talking to a lot of Knicks fans as well. A lot of people like Terry Rozier. A lot of people like
Scary Terry.
Oh, yeah.
Best basketball player I've ever seen in person.
who was the other name I'm thinking of that's like similar to IQ that would be available. I'm drawing a blank right now.
You guys kept a first round pick, maybe a future one. That was a big deal, right?
We kept all of our first round picks.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
We own all of ours, and then we own a few other teams. All we had to give up was a second round pick.
Oh, was it? Yeah, was it Jordan Clarkson?
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson. There we go.
That's it.
Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Yep.
Brogdon and Clarkson are my top two options for who I want the Knicks.
Clarkson out there making history for the Jazz. First triple-double in regular season Jazz history since 2008.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. Dude, I love some Jordan.
There was
It
a
would
there
be
was
nice to
a
see him on a playoff team again.
postseason triple-double in there from our boy Ricky Rubio, but that doesn't count because postseason's not real. Regular season's all that matters.
Yeah, well, yeah, some teams do think that way.
So I would love Jordan Clarkson. I would love Brogdon. And then I think if we can get another backup center, so we can run Precious at the 4 would be good. Because Precious is a great defender, but he's just a little undersized. So I think at the 4 he'd be great. A lot of people want Clint Capella. A lot of people want Drummond to maybe move Isaiah Hartenstein back to the bench.
There's no Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah, they all fit like that Mitchell Robinson description of good rebounder, good defender, fit Tibbs system.
Yep.
That kind of thing. So I think if we could pull off a 3-team trade for like Clarkson and Drummond or Capella and Clarkson and whatever, then I think that would be fantastic. But we have the assets to do it. I don't know if we're going to pull the trigger just yet. I think we're still monitoring the Donovan Mitchell situation. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
That's fair. And you never know who's going to come in the buyout market towards the trade deadline as well.
I feel like Goat to be in there too. That's why.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think you guys will be a candidate for some buyout players. Goat says, I prefer Brogdon because he's an all-around player, but Clarkson is a great scorer. I agree with that. Here's why I'll give the nod to Clarkson personally is just Brogdon's injury history, because no one was more hyped I probably have had the most Brogdon hype of anyone on this screen when the Pacers, for a short time, I thought they had fleeced the Bucks, right? Like, oh wow, yeah, we got Brogdon to come over,
You got
and then lo and behold, yeah, because not really because he didn't play well, but because he was always hurt, and then obviously we made the trade for this guy named Tyrese Halliburton, and Brogdon was no longer going to be part of that. But yeah, if I am counting on someone to be a big part of my rotation, I'll take Clarkson being less of an all-around player, but at least I know he's going to be there, and I know he's going to have a couple of those games that he goes out and wins for me because he scores 30 off the bench, and the other team wasn't counting for that. Andre Drummond mentioned the GOAT rebounder that owns the Pacers. He almost made one of the slides today because I saw a tweet where he said he doesn't see himself as a bench player, and I thought that was
people,
cute.
come on. Cute is a great way to put it.
I don't see myself as a bald man, James, but
that's why you wear hats all the time.
Exactly. All right, so moving on to our next one. Before we move completely off of this, I just wanted to say that RJ Barrett at least is happy to be back in Canada, so we can root for him now that he's not ruining Keebler's life. So good luck.
I do just want to say that I've been predicting this trade for the last about year and a quarter. I've been saying in my Knicks group chat that people can vouch for me. I've been saying RJ for OG, RJ for OG, RJ for OG, and it finally
you manifested it.
Yeah, you did, dude. That's fantastic.
And it's paying off. I mean, both teams are 2-0 since the trade. So
far, so good. Now we go from trades that have happened to trades that will likely not happen, although Bridges has been rumored and says someone should give Keebler an RJ jersey.
I already have an RJ jersey that I'm about to donate, so I'm getting rid of it ASAP, and I'm getting my grandparents gave me $150 for my birthday and Christmas. My birthday just passed. It was the day after Christmas.
Happy belated.
Happy birthday, Keeps.
So I'm going to buy either an OG Knicks jersey or a Quickly Raptors jersey, or both, depending on the price.
Nice.
Oh, there you go. Well, luckily for Nets fans, they will not have to burn their Mikal Bridges jerseys. So despite him being linked to even teams like the Pistons, why are people still writing articles about the Pistons being buyers this year? That's very interesting to me. But the Nets do not want to trade Mikal Bridges, so I won't be asking you guys for any likely landing places there. And speaking of the Pistons, yeah, right? The Pistons, who might be wanting to trade for Mikal Bridges for some reason, are unwilling to trade Bojan Bogdanovic. According to James L. Edwards of The Athletic, it's because they want to be good and don't want to trade good players, even if his role is reduced to a bench scorer next season. That logic just doesn't sit very well with me, guys. What are your thoughts about the Pistons being unwilling to move Bogdanovic unless they are blown away by some offer? Is this the right move for them to have this veteran floor spacer? Or should there be, in my opinion, no one should be untouchable on this roster except for maybe some of your rookies? Maybe Cade Cunningham might be the only one, to be honest.
The young guys,
No one on that roster should be over the age of 25 years old.
Yeah,
if they want to develop everyone correctly, just get all the old dudes off the roster.
Yeah. And also, don't do Bogdanovic this dirty. Like, good God. Like,
we were just going to throw him on the bench.
Like, you're just going to let him die over there in Detroit. My God. Please,
it's stuck.
Save the poor man.
Now,
I agree with this. This is a conversation we had last year. I agree.
Yep. Agree with that.
Last year.
He should have been gone for a first-round pick or two that they had the offer for.
Exactly.
Wiseman's your savior.
And you know what, I don't disagree with the idea that Pistons could be buyers. Maybe I should rephrase what I said in the sense if they're buying young talent, but also it's got to be in my opinion, as a part of the Bogdanovic trade to also get him out of here while his value is high. I just don't understand letting assets depreciate,
Raptors, Bulls.
Wait, John, can I just pull this up real quick?
Oh, got him.
Bite-sized Vikes coming in hot.
I just wanted to pull that up really quick. I'm sorry.
Wolves fans, they're back. They went into hibernation there for about 2 weeks.
John, after the live's over, rewind this. We just talked about your boy Leonard Miller and his potential future. So go check that out. But I'm gonna give Craig, I'm gonna give Kevin Greg Oden and James.
That Jordan pulled yours. I'd be so mad. Fun fact: Greg Oden was born in the same town as Kev, in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Ooh, let's go. Yeah, Greg Oden also loves taking pictures with me. That's also been documented.
That's a great picture. It's a fantastic picture.
Oh, it's one of the best times of my life. Unlike Kyle Kuzma, who is not having a good time as a member of the Washington Wizards, and apparently he will be made available for
first-round picks.
You said it, James, not me. Keebler, any takers in your mind for Kuzma, and is this a realistic haul that the Wizards hope to get back?
I wanted Kuzma before the season started, and Randall decided to have his best season ever. But one team that I could see, which would be really funny, would be the Warriors, with all the trouble that Draymond's been getting in or whatever. I think that'd be really funny because they just shipped Poole to Washington, so it'd be funny if they brought him in. But I'm trying to think of teams that would need like a stretch four. None are really coming to mind.
In terms of IQ. Yeah, Kuzma and Poole. Oh, my God. It's like watching Dumb and Dumber on the basketball court.
Kuzma could also run the 3, too. Like, he could be a 3 or a 4, so.
True. Warriors are a good one. I didn't have the tweet pulled up for this, but they also, rumors are circulating that the Warriors are willing to move on from Wiggins in a trade. So that's
a swap.
That would potentially open up things for Kuzma to come in. So.
I'm just trying to think of teams. Do you guys have anyone in mind?
What about you, James?
I don't see him going to a team like the Hornets.
Multiple first-round picks. Get out of here. Go and get. Jesus. I mean, I'm sure he could help somebody, but I can't even fathom trading multiple. Whoever trades multiple first-round picks for him should just get fired on the spot. Just John Robinson, get out. Get on out.
They might be one of those first round. It might be like a 2029 or something. If you're getting 2, I think one of them is a long time in the future.
Long ago.
I don't know. I think this price will go down, and I think he will potentially be traded. But I don't know. The Warriors were, are the Lakers gonna move some things around, have another reunited situation there? I doubt it. I'm trying to think of teams that need him that would want to get. I think that's the thing. A lot of the teams that need him aren't going to be willing to.
Maybe the Bulls.
Oh God, I feel bad for whoever would be involved in that.
Move DeRozan back to the 3, like his natural position, and then once Levine comes back at the 2.
That could. I mean, theoretically, that would work. Like, I'd love playing with that roster in 2K and somebody online. I don't think I'd do it for a full season, but that'd be an interesting lineup. I like that. So we've got Kuzma potentially on the move, and I think that is the last. Oh, you know what? No, there's one more.
Let's just get this out of the way. Kuzma's the player. Yes.
Damn.
Speaking of the Tennessee Titans, there's a bunch of stupid Colts fans all in my mentions right now because they're cheering for Tennessee this weekend, and it makes me sick. You guys are sick. You loser Colts fans cheering for the rival. Get the F out of my life. Also, the Titans are putting out a team that's us 3, and Bite-sized Vikes is probably too good to play on that team this weekend. They're going to get mowed down.
The enemy of my enemy.
Not my friend.
I'll root for one day. Yeah, that's.
If you wear a Titans shirt on camera next week, if they win, then we'll call it I'll accept it.
Ooh, I'd have to buy one, but no one out pizzas.
We got a pizza battle going on here.
Papa John's is better than pizza. Ooh, you know what? I actually agree with Goat on that one. Give me Papa John's over pizza.
I'm taking Domino's over both.
Ooh, okay.
I'm a thin crust guy. I'm a thin crust guy, so Pizza Hut's thin crust is fantastic.
I love this. Let us know your favorite pizza in the chat. Now, the last trade rumor.
It's not tough. He's a loser.
Kev is a Colts
Half a
fan and a
loser.
Columbus Crew fan. That's tough. Yeah.
Half
Yeah,
a
I just
loser.
went around. I'm also a Cubs fan, as you can see, Notre Dame fan. As a kid, I just was moved around a lot collecting. Instead of Infinity Stones, I just collected horrible sports franchises to root for.
Well, it didn't make
But
you as
hey,
much money.
shout out to the Crew, though. The Crew are the best thing that's happened to me the last 3 years. At least got a couple of titles
Them and
to talk
Minshew
about.
Mania.
The Giants are the only team that's delivered me a championship since I've been alive.
I don't have it since I've been alive. I mean, the Huskers did in the 90s, but I was still wearing diapers, so that doesn't count. I've got 0. I've got a Kevin Dyson this short.
The Knicks haven't won in like 51 years. The Giants, you haven't even won in like, 12 years? 13? Whatever it is. And then the Mets, I don't even want to talk about that.
The Colts' only Super Bowl that I've witnessed came at the direct expense of my family because my dad and brother
Bears
are both
fan.
diehard Bears
Yeah,
fans.
we
So
talked about
that
before.
was awesome. I mean, I wish I could, put that moment in a tub and eat it. It was great and have bragging rights for a full year in the house. But no, it's the league cup going to continue? I honestly don't know. What was it? I can't remember which. I don't remember if it was the League's Cup or if it's the North American. They were trying to get some of the minor league teams involved, and I think the MLS shut it down. And I was excited about the idea of adding. I just thought that would be cool. We talk about the NBA. I've talked about this for the NBA in-season tournament and for the All-Star game. Like, let the G League guys get more involved into the All-Star. I love development and getting more eyes on that, especially the more we have remote jobs and people working from home, there's more time to be entertained. Like, why not televise those smaller leagues and things like that? Okay, let's go. All right, I'm gonna have to talk to Goat and get get up to date on some. We'll have to have some soccer chats here, some football chats, as I should say. But most of them on our side.
Give bite-sized bites your 15-second review of your trade because he missed the conversation earlier because he's putting his kids to sleep. My guess.
So, in my opinion, the Knicks won the trade pretty easily. Not even being
RJ Barrett hashtag.
But RJ Barrett's gone, so that's phenomenal. I give that alone an A+. But no, I really like it. I'm really sad that we had to give up quickly in the process, but I feel like you could have maybe gotten it done with Fournier, Grimes, and maybe 1 or 2 extra first-round picks instead of quickly. But he was gone anyway after the season's over, so it doesn't really matter. Just take the value while you can get it. OG in his first 2 games has looked great. Again, not even to take a dig at the Timberwolves. This is just happens that was the first game he played. Shot very efficiently, did things I haven't even seen RJ come close to doing on defense. Held Anthony Edwards when he was against him to very low percentages, and then he would switch on Cat and held him to low percentages. I know that they both scored a lot of points, but that was when OG was out of the game.
I saw that percentages stats, like over the guys that he guarded. It was pretty impressive.
Right. And then against the Bulls, he also, again, efficient, fantastic defense, fits perfectly into Tibbs' scheme. So
he is a Tibbs guy for sure.
Yeah. The fact that we got a backup
200 minutes a game.
The fact that we got a backup center that we needed in the process, I think it was fantastic. So I give us like an A-. I feel like we maybe could have given up just a little less. But yeah, that's where I was going with that. Breadcrumbs point to a big move incoming. Who's your realistic dream acquisition? I said before, I think Malcolm Brogdon would be awesome at the trade deadline. I feel like that's pretty much inevitable. Obviously, I would want Embiid or Donovan Mitchell, but we don't know what's going on with the Donovan Mitchell situation, and I feel like Embiid's attainable if the 76ers get bounced early again. Early meaning like second round or before. And Embiid's just like, I want out. But those are my 2 dream acquisitions. But in terms of realistic, that'll improve the team right away. I feel like Brogdon, Clarkson. Clarkson, Brogdon, Terry Rozier would be like my trade deadline move.
This stream is my goddamn nightmare. Pacers and Timberwolves fans everywhere.
Let's go, Kenneth. Yes. There's at least one Pacers
God,
fan in the
It's
building.
my damn nightmare out here.
There we go. Can you see the flag?
Colts,
There we go.
He's a Colts fan too. The Colts, Pacers, Wolves fans. Good Lord, get me out of here.
Oh, I love it. It's all right. We got Pistons fan in here too.
Yep.
And despite,
Misery loves company. Come on down. Go.
My poor brother, he was a Charlotte Hornets fan early in life, and then decided when he went to go to college in Michigan, he decided he was going to be a Pistons fan. Made that choice about 2 years ago, and now just nothing but pain for that poor kid. I'm just happy that he still watches basketball. I'm kind of surprised. It's one thing to have been born with it. I was raised to be a Cubs fan. So by the time I knew what I was doing, I was already brainwashed. But he made those choices. I just feel very bad for him. So shout out to the NBA Central Division here. Guys, I am getting close to the end of the run of show today. I don't have the highlights pulled up, but did you see the Ja Morant dunk on Wemby? You guys got any thoughts on how Ja and the Grizzlies have looked since he's been back?
Oh.
I'll let you go first, James.
It's going to be a wasted season, man. They came out hot, and when they run that 4-guard lineup with Ja and Marcus Smart, who's back, and Bane, they just get blown off the boards. No Steven Adams, kills him inside.
Oh, yeah, that's a big perspective.
Loss. Essentially, Ja Morant's 25-game suspension is going to cost him a season.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Go ahead, Keebler.
I was going to say, I think just for storyline purposes, maybe the Grizzlies take that 10th seed and make the play-in. Right now. I feel like that'd be cool. They're not too far out of it, right? I feel like
they're 11-23 right now. Their next game is Friday against the Lakers.
5.5 games back from the Lakers. So no, it's not.
It's not unrealistic to make a play-in.
No.
So that being said, I think just from what I've seen, I think that they make the play-in. That's my hot take.
When he came back, they won 4 in a row, and they've lost 4 of their last 5 since. And their one win, and now they lost to 3 playoff teams: Denver, LA, and Sacramento. Clippers, not the Lakers, the LA team that's playing good, beat San Antonio, and then actually lost to the fun-loving Toronto Raptors on Wednesday.
Ooh.
Big weekend for seeding purposes. LA, Phoenix, this Friday, Sunday. Shit, LA's Phoenix, Dallas. All playing teams ahead of them.
Ball 3.
Mm-hmm. I don't think they'll get it done. I think no Steven Adams really hurts them. I think you're going to end up with a lottery draft pick, a low lottery draft pick, and Morant's.
I think that's a team that could go for like a Drummond, a Capella, something to put them back in the mix.
They need some help from a rebounding perspective, absolutely.
Yeah, if they start winning, they might buy to a lower degree. But, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with James on it being a wasted season. Even if they get into the play-in, this isn't a year. I mean, I don't know. I guess one could argue that with Minnesota and Oklahoma being the 1 and 2 seeds, one could say if that holds, this would be exactly the year to be a play-in team, because at least you're playing against an inexperienced top seed that maybe you can pull off an upset on. But for me, I think just getting in to be a play-in team is going to be a bit of a wait. You guys know, as a Pacers fan, you know how I feel about that. That is NBA purgatory. You do not want to stay. The worst thing you can be is average. You don't get good enough draft picks. It's very hard to change the winning ways of your team, change your momentum with the 17th pick in the first round. You need something a little better than that. You either got to be bad or good. So unfortunately, I think them going on a run and winning games could be one of the worst things that could happen to them. Maybe them losing could be the best thing that they can reload a little bit quicker. So
on the contrary, I feel like it might be good to try to make a push, because looking at this year's draft class, nothing screams like we need this guy. Like
there's no Wemby, not even a Scoot even.
I haven't seen any hype around this draft class. I haven't seen any news of any like big names that could emerge from the rubble, except Bronny James, who's going to be maybe a late lottery pick, probably late first round, just because you're going to probably get LeBron if you draft him. But I don't know. It's just like I feel like this is the one season to just throw it all on the line and see what you got. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not much in the draft that you're going to look for.
Okay, I mean that's fair, especially if your scouts have that same assessment. Maybe that is the way to go. I think they will be hard pressed to do any real damage. Actually, guys, I'm sorry. I have one bonus topic. I didn't make the run of show because right before I went live. Ooh, okay, I like that question. We can answer. Actually, you guys want to answer this one first? You guys have any trade packages for marketing? I don't. Off the top of my head, I don't have anything.
They have a zillion picks they could do.
I don't think he fits that team.
Right, with Chet, does he even fit there?
I've heard this rumor. I've heard him talk about it.
I feel like throwing a bunch of 7-footers together isn't exactly the smartest strategy.
It'll work for Minnesota.
But if they were to pull off a trade for him, I could see something like, I don't know, 3 to 4 first rounders with maybe Giddey. I don't know.
Yeah, let me flip this question. There's talk of like every young team has to make a move, right? Did the Thunder even need to make a move? They're one game back from first, 23-10 in the last week. Let me pull up their schedule. I saw this earlier, who they've beaten last week. It's impressive. Okay, here we go. 1 second. Like, do they even need to? In the last, since December 26th, they've beaten the Wolves, New York, Denver, Boston.
And they've got about a solid 10-man rotation here. The only thing that remains in question to me is the long-term status of Josh Giddey. We haven't really heard much about that. I don't know. I don't have any reason to think that he's going to miss significant time, but you have to be wary of it. You have to be mindful of that possibility. Outside of that, we got Shea, we've got Williams, Holmgren, Giddey, Dort, Joe, Wallace, and Wiggins, who have all played in over 30 games. Then you have the other two Williams boys who've each played in 20-plus games.
One of those Williams dudes is good.
And
Shea, Williams, Holmgren trio is really good.
It's so, yeah, I don't know that they need a lot. This might be the kind of team that in the buyout market, there's just the perfect veteran to add to the end of their bench, just to have somebody who's had a bunch of playoff runs, just to have a locker room guy. I don't even know that they would get a bunch of minutes. What's he say here? I've just seen some people float that around, but haven't heard speculation as to what they might have to give up. And that's the other part too. When you're this ahead of schedule and you have this young team that nobody expected to be this good, like you've broken free. Like this is the mold, right? Like this is the trust the process. I wouldn't mess with this right now if I were the Thunder, but that's just me.
Yeah. And like that's the thing, like there might be one piece away, but hopefully don't pull the trigger too early. I would agree with that.
I feel like the only piece worth it to go for is like a Giannis and Embiid, like that type of guy.
Yeah, like let's go big or go home.
Yeah. And marketing doesn't move the needle like that. So
I agree.
Are there
I've heard that marketing rumor though.
While we're here on marketing, are there any teams that you guys do see? Because it does feel like he's kind of just floundering away in Utah right now, being a great player on a roster that needs way more than him to do anything. But
he'd help a lot of places to have one.
I would like him on the Warriors. I think it'd be a great fit. Stretch 3, 4.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that, yeah. Don't know what they could give up to get him, but
yeah.
Got another Pistons fan out here. What a wild
Let's go, Meat Dragger Fortin. That's a great name,
all the
by
Pistons
the way.
fans are coming along.
Quality name. Hey, so the bonus topic that comes courtesy of Sporting Logically on YouTube. Go check that channel out if you haven't. Because as I was prepping for all of I sent you guys to run a show, and I'm, as I'm working on stuff, of course, I'm just listening to other NBA content in the background. And he put out a video essentially saying that Kevin Durant is to blame for what's going on in Phoenix. And, I looked at where they were at and the fact that, let me pull this up. I think it's been about 10 games that they've played I don't know that they've played even 10 games together, but we all know that their big three hasn't played a lot together. But they're sitting there with not a great record right now. Are we worried about the Suns? Was this a bad decision? And any thoughts on just where they're at, what they might need to do to get better? We'll start with you, James.
Well, get healthy, which is quite
the Darvin Ham defense.
possible.
I like it.
I said it before the season. Health is going to be their biggest problem. Yeah, Darvin Ham is right. I wasn't a fan of the trade before the season, and I stand by it. I have a bet on their under wins, which looks better every fucking day.
They're currently 18-16.
Let me look up what that bet was. It's
a ninth seed in the West.
I think they've looked good when they're healthy, though, in the very, 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 very small sample size that they have.
And that's what, when I look at this, I didn't love the Ayton trade, but Nurkic is okay. They have Eric Gordon, Grayson Allen. Maybe they need to be they could use a depth piece or two, but they have depth pieces that I like there, that when they are healthy, I do agree that I think they could still do some damage. So I'm not willing to write them off yet. I think we saw some of this with Minnesota last year.
Under 51.5 wins.
That might hold up. Okay, we'll see.
Looking good for now.
Looking good for now, absolutely. Yeah. But we saw this a little bit with Minnesota when their injuries prevented them from having the two towers play together. And so there was a lot of speculation, people saying it outright, flat out would not work. Have we really seen enough of this big three for anybody to say that this has been a failure yet? In my opinion, no. I think we need to at least give them. Now, if it's this time next year and they still have only played 12 games together, I would say, okay, yeah, I'm sorry that it's for health reasons, but yes, it's a failure. This window of Kevin Durant's is only going to be open for so long. But right now, I would be hesitant to write them off. Do you guys think that the Suns will be a serious playoff contender this year, though?
Nope. Quick one-word answer. Nope.
I'm not writing them off.
Okay.
I'm not putting any money on them either.
I like Kenny's comment here. This rate when Beal's finally healthy, Durant will be hurt, which is actually the case right now. Durant missed the game the other night when Beal played. Chemistry is key in the NBA, and they won't have enough time with one another. It is
exactly. Yeah, just like we were saying
Kevin Durant getting traded to Phoenix last year.
Yeah, and like the Timberwolves situation last year. So maybe it'll be next year when they actually are healthy and they get to play. We'll be like, oh my God, look at the Suns. They're so good. But I don't know that we're going to see any of that this year. Well, that officially ends it for me, folks. That's all that we had on the docket today. Do you fellas have anything else you want to talk about before we give our farewells?
I don't personally.
Bucks won tonight, beat the
Thank God.
Spurs by
4. Wemby had 27, Giannis had 44, and you've got, if you're looking for some late night ball, Nuggets Warriors just tipped off on TNT. Nuggets are up 22-13 currently.
Let's go Nuggets.
Hey.
It was always the Nugs, baby.
Always.
A nice live bet because I didn't want to take the Bucks at, what was it, like minus 600 before the game starts, whatever it was. So I have Bucks and Nuggets. I have like 45 on that to pay out like 60 something profit. So
Aaron Gordon just came back from his little absence from stitches from the dog bite. He thinks this is his second game back. Looks like they got everybody.
Well, I knew Aaron Gordon had that dog in him. I just didn't know the dog tried to bite its way out.
Tried to bite its way out.
Glad to see he's back.
Yeah, the Nuggets are down 9 right now.
Yeah, they're down right now. Mm-hmm.
Before we say our farewells, I just want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to everybody in the chat. We got the GOAT, Nate Andrew, Only Mistakes. We've got Nate Bingham. We've got Jide Jr. Let's see. I think there are more than, of course, we had Kenny in there. We've got Bite Size Bikes. We've got
was on right at the
Noob is in there. Meat Dragger 410 and Epic Curacao or something. Sounds like something you'd use to make a stiff drink. But welcome, guys. Thanks to all of you new viewers and you guys that have returned to us. We appreciate you, guys. We hit 600 subscribers today.
We did YouTube. Finally did it.
First, just in time for the first live show
because you've got a Wally Zeiser back, video that's gone wild, and you've got a WWE fucking video that none of us know what's going on, but it's all over the internet right now.
Oh my God, it pays off to make memes.
Can
You
you
know,
explain it? Because I know who is in it.
okay, so let me see if I can pull it. We are officially in bonus mode, guys. So
Yeah.
thank you all for coming. We're happy to have you. We want you to stick around, but
It is something. I see
this
it
is just a little
everywhere.
bonus segment. I made a meme in September when The Rock came back to WWE. Now the meme essentially, so Cody Rhodes is being pushed to go to WrestleMania, and his whole thing is he is the son of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, who never won the world title in the WWF, now the WWE. So Cody's story is, I have to win that belt that they never gave my dad. So he lost to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and we all know that wrestling's fake. Sorry, spoiler alert. So wrestling fans have been very invested in, like, are they finally going to let Cody win at this year's WrestleMania, right? So in September, The Rock shows up. And I was like, oh my God, it's going to happen again. The Rock, because at that time, if you remember, there was also a strike going on in Hollywood. So I was like, oh my God, The Rock is going to come back.
Yeah, because he needs a job right now.
Because he needs a job. And so I made this little meme that now that The Rock came back again has gotten a lot of attention, and it's been stolen by much larger accounts than mine. But here we go. Let's see if you guys
Look
can
at
hear this.
136,000 views.
Sheesh.
Did you use the tab?
Can you hear it?
It's a little delayed. There it is.
To finish the story. Shut up, bitch.
And then did you like Photoshop Cody in there too?
Yeah, this is what I had somebody quote tweet it. They're like, this is what made it. Because I went through and I actually Photoshopped him into the cutaway, which is, yeah. So anyway, so a bunch of bigger accounts have quote tweeted it out. But I also made a sequel because this is from when, so The Rock paid homage to his own meme on that very night on SmackDown. So here's another one I made. Here's the second. The sequel's never as good as the original. But
I have to finish the story. Shut your bitch ass up.
So between that and the Wally Zerbiak Anchorman clip where they're like, why don't you sit the next few plays out, pal? We're doing pretty well out here. So we thank you to all of our new viewers. Greatly appreciate you stopping by. We got a ton of new stuff coming for you, not just live streams. We're going to be working on more of our short form content this year, more videos, all kinds of good stuff. We have a website now, bitesizesports.com. So be on the lookout for more articles coming from our team. It's going to be fantastic. But guys, it is time for a bittersweet segment because on one hand, we get to talk about the cool shit that we're about to do. But on the other hand, it means that the show is over. So, Keebler, where can the folks at home find you when you're not hanging out with us?
So I've mainly been active on Twitter. I've been getting a lot more engagement on there just from replying to tweets that I see with trolling people. What was the main one that was really funny? I got a lot of attention off an Evan Fournier tweet.
More attention than poor Evan gets from his coach.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a lot of like French people attacking me.
Be careful.
The French are coming.
Be careful. We get memed a lot for being sissies, but listen, we can argue. We can say some very hateful things. The French.
Let me see. I have to just find it because I guess Knicks Muse, who's another like big Knicks page, tweeted tweeted like making fun of Cam Reddish, I guess, and Evan was like, the way you try to make fun of former Knicks players is weak, man. You need to be better. You can support your team without shitting on anyone. So I replied and I said, I'll make fun of a current Knicks player. You're trash and bald. and that got 28,000 views, 273 likes, 29 replies, and 12 retweets.
Nice.
So that got a lot of attention. But you can find me at the Nick Stop on Twitter. That's where I've been most active.
Oh, that's phenomenal. James, what about you, brother? Where can the folks at home find you when you're not with us?
I can't follow up there. That was something. You can catch me and Kev every Wednesday night over on our sister station talking Star Wars. We just had a fun one last night. Kev, our review from Dune is over 400 right now. It keeps moving for some reason. So all you dweebs out there watching, we appreciate it. Sometime I'll hop back on the station and talk Mayo Man, but the Titans are so bad I refuse to even make content about them.
Oh, yeah.
They're no good. And most of my socials are Schmitz06, so come on down, folks.
Excellent. Yes, I look forward to our next Dweeb episode. Be sure to go check that out. It's also, we've got our own page on the Bite Size Sports website as well for you dweebs. So we got movie review articles, all that kind of cool stuff coming. As far as I go, you can also occasionally find me talking about Colts on our site here, Bite Size Sports. I also cover them for the Horseshoe Pride podcast, part of the Pro Sports Fans app. You can also find me on Monday nights talking about the wild world of combat sports with my dear friends over at Carnage Unleashed. And we are in a bit of a lull here. My next pay-per-view isn't till January 20th, but I am actually happy to announce we'll be splitting duty, James, because on Saturday the 20th, the Carnage media team will be covering Carnage Fight Series 4, and I will be in Lima, Ohio, doing commentary for the home opener for the Ohio Extreme in the Major League Indoor Soccer League. So I am very thrilled. It's an expansion team. We'll be broadcasting, we'll be pay-per-viewing all of their home games. So as far as this season is concerned, boys, I am the official voice of the Ohio Extreme. So I'm thrilled about that. Can't wait.
Congratulations, buddy.
To do more of that. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. So yeah, keep on the lookout for more stuff from us at Bite Size Sports and our partners, Dweeb and Carnage Media. We got a lot of cool stuff coming for you, but thank you all so much. We really appreciate you for hanging out with us for over an hour and 15 minutes now. I think it's time that we get out of here.
Do we have the little ad queued up?
Ooh, we do. I've got an ad. That's great. We will play our Dubby ad. It's right there. Just so you know, I do drink it. That's an empty Dubby container behind me. All right. This stuff is good. And thank you for reminding me of that, Keebler. We will see you guys all next time. All right. Take care. Sports. Are you looking for an energy boost without the jitters? Let our friends at Dubby Energy help you with their fantastic selection of flavors. Just visit www.dubby.gg and use the code BITESIZESPORTS at checkout for 10% off your order total. Again, that is www.dubby.gg. Code BITESIZESPORTS.